Hello everybody, kia ora, and welcome to this video about the solstice, the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere, the start of the new solar year in the southern hemisphere. And I also want to talk about a configuration that's happening, and it could be thousands of years since this lineup of planets and points in the sky have happened, and it's reshaping everything in our world. And you can see how confused and zany the geopolitics are, and I'm sure that you're finding there's things happening in your life where it really feels like things are turning around into something new, and you don't know what that new thing is yet. That's going to become clear over the next few years, because this is a big long transit. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do an all signs breakdown so that you can see where some of the intense points and the focus points of this new redesign are happening in your chart. Okay, so my name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar. I make calendars for New Zealand and Australia, and I'm not going to go too much into that now because we're not at calendar buying time. And I'm actually in England at the moment, living in a van with my partner, and I'm recording kind of early-ish in the morning. Actually, it's rush hour around us, and I'm in a car park. Okay, so I don't know how much you can see of this. I'm going to go through this. All right, so we've got a mini grand trine, and I'm going to talk through. So whenever you see a chart, like an astrological chart, and you've got the circle, okay, and at the middle of that chart is the earth, all right, and over here at about 1 degree of Aries now, 1 or 2 degrees of Aries, we've got Saturn and Neptune very, very close. And I've been talking about this, of course. It's really important. This happens once every 30 years or so. A lot of astrologers are mentioning the fact that the last time these two came together, we had the fall of the Berlin Wall. Just this alone is really incredible. Saturn is about boundaries, restriction, reality, our earthly reality. So what we need to face up to and do, because we're limited by the fact that we're in a human body living on earth. We've got gravity, and we've got the need to eat and the need to make money, and the need to follow the rules of life, and make our life on earth work in a practical, real way. Saturn is about that. So Saturn can feel quite boring, quite restrictive, because it's about the reality we need to face up to and the hard work that we need to do in order to live. Neptune, on the other hand, can be very glamorous, romantic, dreamy, and the high side of Neptune is unconditional love, compassion, charity, and idealism. And with Saturn and Neptune together, and they're at that very first degrees of Aries, they're around about 2 degrees. They're not going to quite come together this year. In July they'll get extremely close, and then they actually come into the proper conjunction in February next year. Okay, but anyway, or maybe January. Anyway, early next year. Okay, so these two are about making dreams a reality. All right, and a bit later on I'll give an all signs breakdown so you can know where these are in your chart, so that if you know your rising sign especially, but otherwise your sun sign. These at that 0 degrees, very close to 0 degrees of Aries, they represent an amazing new start that's for the next 30 years. Okay, but not only that, we also have and 60 degrees away from them in a sextile, very flowing, Pluto. Pluto newly moved into Aquarius in the last year. A new start in terms of the next 20 years that Pluto will be in there. And Pluto is about deep power, deep, slow, but incredibly strong transformation through destruction and rebirth, like death and rebirth. Pluto's about death, slow crumbling destruction, and then being able to rebuild something out of the ashes, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay, and then so these are flowing with each other, and Pluto's in the sign of technology, and we can see how technology is really playing a part in this new world that we're going into. And then we've got also Uranus changing sign and moving into Gemini in next month in July, and that is in a sextile to the Saturn Neptune. And Uranus, again, it's about technology, it's about community, it's about grassroots, and it's revolutionary, it's disruptive, it can bring shocks and surprises, so changes of direction that can be very revitalizing and awakening. So this mini grand trine is a really big thing that's affecting us over the next year to 2 years, and I've written here they're very flowing aspects with each other. So we are flowing as a world into new design, new arrangements, new shapes. Yeah, really, really big stuff. And bringing in the solstice is about the moment for the tropical astrology that I use, that's very tied to the seasons. The moment that the sun moves into the sign of Cancer, the 30-degree segment of the sky, that is Cancer, that is the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere and the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. So with the solstice, we've got the sun and Jupiter square, well, because, yeah, with this solstice, the sun is conjunct Jupiter, so that is adding even more power to this mini grand trine, because it's all in it's actually in a square, so there's some tension there for the next couple of months with that, but it's adding power, energy and force behind it. Okay, all right, so I wanted to talk about the solstice. The solstice is sparking up this mini grand trine, so there's something in this that is, stuff to work through because of the square, but something about the solstice is really powerful in terms of this redesign of the whole world that we're in. Okay, for the next part of my video, I'm going to do an all signs breakdown where the Saturn Neptune, sorry, I might make mistakes with this because I've got to record it live. I can do pauses, but that's about it. I don't know how to edit at the moment. Anyway, I am in England, of course, as you know, living in a van, and right now my partner's come back and he's making some toast, and I'm sitting by a canal. There's a lovely duck there. And anyway, we're going to do this all signs. So with the all signs, I'm going to talk about Saturn and Neptune at the first degrees of Aries and where they are. And all right, so Saturn and Neptune. If you are Aries, the Saturn and Neptune, that the new start that represents for your whole life over the next few years, over the next 30 years actually, is in the sign of you. So that is everything about you. It's your body, it's your whole life. It sparks off other parts of your life, like especially your career, your home life, your partnerships. Everything about you is getting a whole big redesign, and you are trying to combine reality and making things real and practical, and as well as what are your dreams and your ideals. Okay, if you are Taurus, this is in your 12th house, and I'm just going to pause because some people are coming along. If you are Taurus, the Saturn Neptune conjunction in the early degrees of Aries are in your 12th house. And this is a house of different things. The 12th house is like a hidden house. It's where the parts of you in your life that are hidden away. So some say that this could relate to foreign travel, like actually going overseas, somewhere where you're hidden away from all your normal life and your normal people, or you're in retreat. A new start in some way. So the retreat could be, I don't know, like you take some time out, you have a sabbatical, you're maybe working at home and not talking to people very much, or you're in some kind of resort away from everything, or a hospice or something. Anyway, a new start where you're away from things, but also it can be a new start in how you resolve some of your deep issues, because the 12th house can be what's your hidden things, what's going on underneath and behind, like some old patterns or old beliefs that you change. Some people call it the house of your self-undoing, and there could be some ways that there's a new start in how you change some of your old ways of believing or patterns that are not helping you. Okay, also, and it's you could be getting some dreams, like the 12th house is also about your dreams, and yeah, what goes on for you inside that's not obvious to the outside. So a whole new start in perhaps how you see the world. And then later, as Saturn and Neptune move into your first house, the house of you, Taurus, then some of these could come to light and be understood and affect your life. Okay. If you are Gemini, then the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries is happening in your 11th house. Whoa, and that is a neat house. That is a lucky house. It's a house where you're getting the rewards from your career, and it's a house where it's about your goals and your visions for the future. So over the next year, you might come up with some new goals and things to aim for in your future. And that's going to be really exciting, and there'll be help for you with how you make those goals and dreams a reality, because you've got Saturn there. And as well as that, you might find new ways to be rewarded in your career. For example, maybe you're earning your money through a wage, and you might change to something where you're getting paid by commission, and it might work better for you. So you can be sort of visualizing what do you want out of how you get your rewards from your career. Or it could be you're getting rewarded by the reputation and status that you enjoy in your career, and then you might change to something that's a little bit more private and that feels better for you, and there's a different kind of rewards out of it. Yeah, okay, so of course, rewards, the career part of your life can be a little bit more about reputation and status, and there could be rewards from that. All right. Now, if you are the sign of Cancer, where you've got this new start also of the Sun and Jupiter and the new moon coming up this week, you guys, you Cancer rising and Sun people, you have got the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is in your career house, your career, your status, your reputation, and the legacy that you leave behind in the world. This is a big one. So there is some new beginning brewing for you, and you'll have some dreams and visions about this, imagination. Don't discount them. Take note of them. Nudge them along when you can, and there could be some help for you through hard work and being really practical about how you can make these a reality in your career. The work that you do, that is career work, not just earning money, not just a job you're doing for the money, but your career stuff, and leading towards a legacy you want to leave behind in the world. And this includes if you're retired or you're not working in something that you're earning, work that you're doing in the world where it's something like a legacy you want to leave behind, and you have some reputation, you're known for it. Okay, All right. Okay, if you are Leo, you energetic people, you have this conjunction or this new start with Neptune and Saturn over the next year and beyond, the next 30 years, happening in your 9th house. This is a lucky house. This is a house of travel, adventure, exploring the world, expanding the world through actual geographical travel, but also through expanding your mind through higher learning, like university learning about other cultures and the ways that different cultures see the world, philosophy and big ideas. And you could find a new start in any of those, and there could also be a whole new start to a belief system, the way that you see the world and understand the world, and the guidelines of how the world is made and what's right and wrong. All of this could have a brand new start that can feel inspiring. Okay, enjoy that, Leo. Okay, if you are Virgo, humble and hardworking Virgo, this conjunction of Saturn and Neptune that's building up, we're building up to it at the beginning of next year, but it's pretty strong at the moment and into July. That is happening in your 8th house. The 8th house is known sometimes in history as being quite a negative house and a scary house, because it is the house of death and rebirth. However, it can be so transformative. This could be where you've got some new start in some kind of deep psychology, and through it you get a much deeper understanding of yourself. Okay, especially early degree Virgo people. All right, a deeper understanding of yourself, and there can be some pain in that, but also some transformation that up levels you. Okay, as well as that, there could be some kind of transformation or a new beginning in terms of finances. And the 8th house is about other people's finances, so it could be your partner's money, or it could be your investments, or it could be where you have got maybe you've borrowed money, but it's money that you can use to invest, and there could be a great new start with that. Be real, but also dream big, and then try and make those dreams a reality for it. Okay, and okay, if you are Libra, all right, so Libra, oh wow, if you're Libra, this is in your 7th house. Saturn and Neptune are in conjunction in your 7th house, and this is your partnerships or your partner. All right, so this could be a brand new start in your relationship, or a brand new relationship that is it's a serious thing. Okay, because it's not so much dating, or it could be a brand new approach to partnership that you have, or something in your partnership that's already there, a new start for you and your partner. It also can be a new start with a business partner, all right, or a new way of working with a business partner. The 7th house, it stands across from you, your 1st house, your Libra, and straight across the chart, like looking across. It's like you're looking at the other person across the table. So whoever in your life, you have that one-to-one relationship where you're sitting across the table looking at each other, working together or living together. Okay, if you are Scorpio, sun, moon or rising, then this conjunction between Saturn and Neptune is in your 6th house. The 6th house is how we give service. It's the work that we do on a daily basis. It's also about our healthy routines and how we look after our bodies and on a daily basis. All right, so the 6th house is really practical, and you're going to likely, especially early degree Scorpios, you're going to have a new start with your 6th house, and how you look after your body, your daily routines, but also possibly your work, your daily work, and how you give service in the world, or even how you keep things clean and tidy and organized. Okay, all right. And then if you are Sagittarius, then this is in your 5th house, and your 5th house is a fun house, a lucky house, and it's a house of I think I'm running out of batteries, so I need to go and plug in. Okay, so if you're Sagittarius, it's your 5th house. I might be running out of battery, but I'm keeping going. So your 5th house is a lucky house. It's a house of romance. It's a house of fun, childlike play. It's a house of your children. So if you have children, there could be a brand new start with them, like for them, like in their lives, or in your relationship with your children. It's also a house of romance, so there could be some new dating or a new way of dating, or in your current partnership, some new fun and romance in your partnership. It's also an amazing house of entrepreneurial creativity. Some people say it's a house of intelligence, and there's different, of course, there's so many different kinds of intelligence, but this would be like your artistic instinct and fiery passion. Okay, that kind of intelligence that you can feel so enthusiastic about some creative idea. So new starts there. All right. And if you are Capricorn, then this new start is in your 4th house. That's an important house. It's your foundation, your roots, your lineage. It is the house of home and family. So some kind of new start, and that can be the home that you're living in or your family of origin. Something that changes there and develops there, and this is a good chance with Neptune to be imagining what you'd like and what new beginnings would you like. Think big, think wildly, imaginatively, and then see where you can find some ways to make those dreams into reality, and that might be one bit at a time, and it's a new start over a few years. Okay, if you are Aquarius, this new start is in your 3rd house, and the 3rd house is about, oh my goodness, there's some beautiful geese just coming up to me, so I don't know if I can turn this around. Okay everybody, it's the other end of the day now. It's now the evening time, and I didn't manage to finish Aquarius and Pisces because I tried to turn the camera around to show you some cute little goslings, little baby geese, and turned off the camera, and then it was time to go. So here we are. I'm going to now talk about Aquarius and the Saturn Neptune conjunction in the sign of Aries for Aquarius, and that means that conjunction, that big new beginning next 30 years, is in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is about communication. It's about small business. It's about networking, social media, and it's also about neighborhoods and your local community and learning handcrafts, hand skills, and your connections with your siblings, and your relations other than the very close relations, not so much parents, not so much children, but like the sort of wider extended family, right, including siblings, aunties and uncles, all of that. Yeah, so there could be some new start there. And the 3rd house is also known as the house of the goddess, but that's an older interpretation of it, but also it's very much a house of modern life because it rules communications and logical thinking and all of those connections, trade and exchange, social media. Okay, so some new start, maybe a new business idea that you've got, or a new relationship with your neighborhood, or some new local kind of learning at the local polytech or evening classes, learning to play guitar, learning a craft. Enjoy that. Okay, and finally Pisces Pisces is my rising and my moon sign. Okay, for Pisces, we have this great 30-year new start in the sign of our self-worth and our money and our earnings. Okay, so it's in our second house. The Aries is our second house for Pisces, and this means there's going to be some new start about our money and our self-worth. And of course, the money that we have, whether it's from earnings or it comes from other sources, a lot to do with the money that we have in life does reflect or mirror what we think of ourselves. It's also about our values, and the second house can show what we value. Like if we have a car and we really look after it and clean it and vacuum it out and polish it up and take it to the mechanic at the right times, for example, that can show the kind of worth that we put in our possessions. Second house can always also be about the luxuries in life. Anyway, I have this feeling with Pisces being my sign that there's some big new change coming for me with the money that I have in the world. Most of my earnings through my life have been from being an employee, working for the man, and I'm sort of nudging now into self-employment, little bits and pieces like the calendar and also my music teaching. But I feel like there's more to come, and I don't feel like I'm going to be carrying on earning in the same way that I have been so far. And this new start with Saturn and Neptune, you know, it's just developing. It doesn't become exact until next year, and that conjunction is the beginning of the new cycle over the next 30 years. So let's see what happens. Okay, and now a bit of a ending for everybody. Good luck, everybody, with this new start over the next 30 years. And it's going to be slow and it's going to be hard work. So we need to be thinking about reality and keeping our feet on the ground, but also keeping our heads and our hearts up in the sky and imagining and thinking big and thinking expansively and with imagination and intuition. That's the Neptune side. So the Saturn is the reality and the practical side, and quite likely being very diligent, patient and realistic about what we can get done towards those goals. And all of this is baked in to the summer winter, this June solstice time that we are in now. So ngā mihi o te tauhou ki ngā tangata o Aotearoa. Greetings to everybody in Aotearoa for this Matariki time, and greetings to everybody with the solstice, the height of summer where I am right now in England, Ingarangi, and the winter time in New Zealand, Australia and the Southern Hemisphere. Hei kona rā, bye for now.